very soon after his arrival, we begin to see an increase in the number of our medical students who are choosing to go into neurology. He's also established 2 new fellowships in vascular neurology and neurocritical care. In addition, a new pre-residency fellowship in stroke and neurocritical care has been started. So, Dr. Torbay, we're delighted you're here, and thank you for the work you're doing, and congratulations on your tenure.
Thank you, Dr. McCrew.
Thank you. We will move now to the Department of Family and Community Medicine, and Dr. Regal will be presenting.
Thank you, Dean McGrew. And congratulations, Dr. Torby. I also want to congratulate Dr. Rob Williams for the Gold-Headed Cane Award, very well deserved. And I also want to thank Jen Phillips, my associate chair, who heads up our promotions committee, and Norma Dye, who heads up our human relations committee and does all the hard work for promotion. So thanks to them. You know, I think a lot of our job is just to loosen the reins for really talented faculty to run free and do good work. And all 5 of the faculty I'm able to present to you, I think are great examples of that. The first is Paul Afek. He is being promoted to associate professor on the CE track. And Paul came to us from Arizona. And he is the medical director and director of ambulatory services at the SRMC hospital. We have awards that our patients give us that are like patient love letters. And Dr. Afek has gotten over 100 of these from his patients. And that gives you an idea of how good he is at his art and his craft. He also is a beloved preceptor for our residents. And Dr. Afek gave me his retirement letter earlier this year, and I want you to know, Paul, you're not able to retire when you get promoted in the same year. So you're going to have to prolong that a little bit more. So congratulations, Dr. Afek. The next is Elena Bissell. Dr. Bissell is being promoted to associate professor on the CE track. And the same goes for Dr. Bissell. I do a newsletter for our department every couple of weeks. And in that, there's a section for kudos where we like to highlight what nice things people say about our faculty. And, you know, we believe strongly in equity. And Dr. Bissell has gotten so many of these eye care awards. I feel guilty sharing them because she gets so many more than anybody else. And she's just a fantastic educator. She heads up our family medicine clerkship. And since she's taking the reins, we've just seen a continuous improvement in the quality of that education, and the number of responses from our learners about her skills and talents as a very gifted educator is just fantastic. She's also heading up our family medicine interest group, and they won a national award through the American Academy of Family Physicians for the Primary Care Leadership Collaborative Award, which is given to just a few departments across the country in support of our family medicine interest groups. So Dr. Bissell, congratulations, and thank you so much for being a part of our team. All right, next is Dr. Janet Page Reeves. And Dr. Reeves is being promoted to tenure, associate professor rank. And I'm not sure if she's here today, but I'm going to talk about her anyways. She is an anthropologist and a very gifted researcher. She's been funded by NSF, NIH, PCORI, HRSA. She probably is most known for the WellRx research, where we ask our patients about their social determinants of health. And her model, along with Art Kaufman and others, has been replicated throughout the country to really assess social and behavioral determinants of health. She is the epitome of a community-engaged researcher. If there was a must-have grant that we needed to get, the first person I would call would be Dr. Page Reeves. She is just awesome. So congratulations to Dr. Page Reeves. Dr. Felicia Rohan Manares. There she is, good. Felicia is our Assistant Dean of Medical Education. And the reason she got that prestigious position is because she is truly an innovator in curricular education. Everything that we need today most, she is really good at, like implicit bias, like racism, like cultural competency. She even teaches lawyers, which is pretty awesome about some of these things we all need to be doing better. I think one of the things that tells us the most about Felicia is that another department, the hospital medicine group, gave her the Inspirational Leader Award. And just by observing how she interacted with our learners. And I think that's just a beautiful example of she walks the talk. And not a lot of people shout from the rooftops, and she certainly doesn't shout her own name from the rooftops, but the beauty is other people recognize her good work. So congratulations, Dr. Rohan Manares, for your promotion. And lastly, Dr. Nancy Pondy is being promoted to full professor with tenure. And when I was talking about we just need to loosen the reins to let people run wild, Dr. Pondy, since she got here, she ran across the field and jumped over the fence. And she was just recognized by Dr. Richard Larson as the assistant associate director for our CTRC. Her career, I've had the pleasure of knowing her at her previous institution where we worked together at University of Wisconsin. I was the chair of her promotions committee, and she has done some remarkable things. She has organized, not only does she herself have more than 56 peer-reviewed publications, she mentors others in supporting their publication and scholarly work. When she was at the University of Wisconsin, she had a group that aren't big R researchers who needed support and guidance on how to write a paper and be published. And that group published 16 peer-reviewed journals with 43 presentations. Her mentorship of others is just exemplary. She also is a leader in HERN, and HERN stands for Health Experiences Research Network. And that's a beautiful process where people with challenging diseases are videotaped and they tell their own story of their disease so others can learn from their personal experience of what they're going through, which is so important for us to understand how we can perceive life through those we are treating with these challenging diseases. So she also is a big mentor and proponent of underserved communities and for those underrepresented minority faculty. And we couldn't be happier having her as part of our community. Congratulations, Dr. Pondy. And that's it for me, Dean McGrew.
Thank you, Dr. Rakel, and congratulations to your faculty who have been allowed to run wild. It's a good example. The Department of Pediatrics is up next with Dr. Loretta Cordova-de-Ortega.
Thank you very much. And I'm really honored to acknowledge the faculty in the Department of Pediatrics. First is Dr. Julia Oppenheimer. She is promoted to Associate Professor in the Clinician Educator track. She completed her clinical psychology program fellowship at UNM and specializes in early childhood assessment and intervention. And she really has worked hard to grow and develop programs providing assessments and therapeutic services for young children and their families. She actually in 2013 established the UNM Second Judicial District Infant Team. And this really is about providing relation-based and trauma-informed assessment and treatment for infants and toddlers. And she really has expanded this program over the course of 6 years and really has done a remarkable job in our community. She also has created and adapted evidence-based practices with our community partners and especially CYFD. And she serves as a clinical director of the UNM Partner Parent Infant Psychotherapy Program and just has done so much work for our patients in such need. She developed a reputation with infant mental health in the community and actually in the state of New Mexico and nationally as well. She's also in the education services, the clinical psychology internship program faculty member and collaborates with both the psychiatry and pediatric departments. And she's very committed to education and patient care and mentorship as well as scholarship. and really focusing on the youngest of children and their families. And so she has built her career around impacting young children and childhood trauma, and addressing its effects on young children. And I think just the remarkable work she's done, not only within our system, but educating our community partners and clinicians statewide, and work with trainees to really bring that knowledge forward. And her families that she works with really have valued her very much as a very caring and compassionate psychologist. And they recognize that she listens to them and understands them. So we congratulate Julia Oppenheimer. Next is Ksenia Matlaska-Wazowska, who is being promoted to associate professor with tenure. Dr. Wazowska graduated her PhD from Poland, and then did her junior and senior postdoc training from the National University of Ireland and here at UNM. And in 2014, she was hired as a tenure track faculty, focusing on molecular, cellular, and therapeutic aspects of pediatric leukemia. And so her research is very much interested in developing new biomarkers for leukemia treatment and classifying the risk of leukemia, and testing new leukemia drug candidates. And so one of the things that's really remarkable about her work as a young faculty is her work has been cited in a variety of prestigious peer-reviewed journal articles, including Nature Reviews, Journal of Clinical Oncology, and Blood. And so she really has advanced the research we do here in pediatric leukemia. She also has collaborated a lot. As you know, pediatrics is a clinical department, and she has really created strong collaborations within biomedical sciences and established a rewarding collaboration with Dr. Larry Sklar, who is the director of the molecular discovery at UNM, and they successfully together utilized a modern cutting edge technology to identify approved inhibitors to target leukemic cells. So this is really work that is on the forefront. What's really remarkable as a young faculty is that she was able to obtain an R01 funded project, and that is really remarkable for the work she's done. And this is looking at central nervous system ALL tracking. It's a really remarkable work in what she does. Not only does she do research, she's very involved in training and mentoring undergrads, PhDs, medical students, and postdocs, and she's been particularly engaged in mentoring our minority students who want to participate in the underlying pipeline program and the post-bac research programs. So I find that we are so proud of her for the scientific work that she's done, and really quite an inspirational accomplishment in the early years of her career. So great congratulations to Dr. Wazowska. And finally, the third faculty that's here, we have one more that's not here, but the third faculty here to be acknowledged today is Dr. Jackie Fridge. Dr. Fridge is being promoted to professor in the CE track. She completed her medical school at the University of Leicester in England, and trained 4 years of residency in pediatrics in the United Kingdom before coming to the United States, and did her residency in Oakland Children's and then a fellowship at Stanford. Prior to joining UNM, she was actually in private practice in Portland, Oregon. And we recruited her as the division chief for our peds GI program. And at the time that we recruited her, we asked her to rebuild the program, which only had one faculty member in it. But under her leadership, she's expanded to 5 physicians, 2 APPs, registered dietitians, and support staff with nurses and MAs, and really has done a remarkable job of building our GI program, and also mentor all her faculty to be highly successful and engaged. She also has incredibly expanded the clinical services that we've been able to do here at UNM for our patients, who we see throughout the state. And one of the unique things about our specialists is there are only a handful, and UNM has a majority, so we serve the whole state. And she's brought in wireless pH monitoring, pH impedance monitoring, rectal manometry, biofeedback, hydrogen breath test, and capsule endoscopy. So these are all programs that we never had here that she brought to us. They also do, she created a multidisciplinary clinic of aerodigestive and anal rectal malformations, so a great collaborator. She's interested in research and has done numerous quality improvement projects. And we brought UNM to the forefront and joined the Improved Care Now program, which is a national collaborative at looking at children with inflammatory bowel disease. And she also has developed the hepatitis C registry and clinical service in line with our New Mexico Hepatitis C Coalition. She's also met with CYFD to explore treating incarcerated youth who are high risk for hepatitis C, and has really brought that forward as well. They also brought forward drug trials for her division. So really, she's been recognized by her clinical excellence. She's received the Department of Pediatric Faculty Service Award as specialty consultant for 2 years in a row, and Albuquerque Magazine Top Doctor. She also expanded our work over the last few years to do 16 outreach clinics throughout the state. And I really would say that she has this responsive to the unceasing challenge of facilitating excellence in patient care in our ambulatory settings and inpatient as well. So remarkable work she's done, and we're really proud that she's been promoted to professor. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Cordova de Ortega, and congratulations to your faculty as well. I'm going to hop back to family and community medicine. We didn't think that one of their faculty would be here, and so I want to turn it back over to Dr. Rakel to recognize one of his additional faculty.
Thank you, Dean McGrew. I'm so happy.
Lorraine, can you put up Melanie Baca if she is here with Dr. Rakel?
Well, I'm very excited.
She is here, but unfortunately it looks like her camera and speaker is off. I apologize. I can't get her up there.
Okay, that's all right. Thank you.
All right, just imagine a very talented faculty member with a brand new baby by her side. She's out on parental leave. So Dr. Baca, if you had to think of a trailblazer, she is it. She wanted to do an adolescent medicine fellowship, and the Department of Family and Community Medicine didn't have one, so she made her own. And she started and completed her own adolescent fellowship. She is the medical director at Youth Services Center, and that has led to a very promising research career in an observation that there was a lot of adolescents who were dying of overdose, and she has mobilized naltrexone ease of access for this population when they leave the Youth Services Center. And the number of lives she may have saved there will never be known, but it's pretty impressive. The other area of research is that she's researching contraception in women of low socioeconomic status. And she has been very successful in both her research as well as her clinical career, as well as her awesome motherness of her 2 children. So congratulations to Dr. Baca.
Thank you again, Dr. Rakel, and congratulations, Dr. Baca. We're going to go next to the Department of Pathology and Dr. Nancy Jost, who's the chair.
Good afternoon, and I am very honored to present 2 of our faculty who are up for promotion and have been promoted. The first is Ms. Marlena Chavez, who is an Albuquerque native, received her bachelor's in biology from UNM and is a longstanding UNMer, followed by working at the School of Medicine and the Department of Internal Medicine in Division of Epidemiology, working in molecular epidemiology, followed by working in the Department of Pathology with our Human Tissue Repository, which, as many of you know, is a core facility promoting tissue-based research for our HSC researchers. She then obtained her Master's of Science as a pathology assistant in 2014 at Rosalind Franklin University of Medicine and Sciences in Chicago, and returned after her degree to UNM Department of Pathology as faculty in 2014, and where she has been an integral and highly valued member of our surgical pathology team. She leads and oversees the operations in our UNMH gross room, which is critical for surgical pathology, but also very critical for tissue-based research for HSC scientists. She is just an outstanding educator in anatomic gross pathology for our residents, fellows, and post-sophomore fellows who are medical students. And we are just very fortunate to have her as faculty. and congratulate her on her promotion. So congratulations, Marlena. The other faculty who is up for promotion and has been promoted to the rank of associate professor in the clinician educator track is Dr. Heather Jarrell. And Dr. Jarrell comes to New Mexico from the southern part of the United States, from Georgia and Virginia, where she went to medical school, did her pathology residency and fellowships in forensic pathology as well as neuropathology. So we were able to recruit her to the Department of Pathology and to the Office of the Medical Investigator for the state of New Mexico in 2014. She has been on the faculty as a medical investigator and forensic neuropathologist, and is currently our interim chief medical investigator for the state of New Mexico. Her special interests are in pediatric forensic neuropathology, which includes acute and chronic traumatic brain injury in children, as well as general neuropathology. Her future research and ongoing research interests also include the epidemiology of sudden death and epilepsy, chronic traumatic encephalopathy, and neuropathology of blast injury survival. She is a highly valued member of our faculty, a very talented forensic pathologist, excellent educator, and a very effective face for UNM and the Office of the Medical Investigator, and outreach in all of our outward facing activities that we do with the public. So congratulations, Dr. Jarrell.
Great. Thank you so much, Dr. Jose, and congratulations to your faculty. Next is the Department of Orthopedics and Rehabilitation, and Dr. Skank couldn't be here, and so in true Dr. Skank style, he has made a video. So, Larry, are we ready to go?
Thank you, Dean McGrew, and good afternoon. My name is Bob Skank, and I'm Department Chair of Orthopedic Surgery and Rehabilitation. I'd first like to say congratulations to all of the recipients today on their promotion. It is a lot of work, and we're very proud of you. So my many, many thanks. Thank you, Dean McGrew, and good afternoon. My name is Bob Skank, and I'm Department Chair of Orthopedic Surgery and Rehabilitation. I'd first like to say congratulations to all of the recipients today on their promotion. It is a lot of work, and we're very proud of you. So my many, many thanks for all your work, and my congratulations. I would also like to say thank you to Dr. Bronwyn Wilson and her entire team working tirelessly to create this ceremony and the process it takes to get here. So thank you. I would also like to thank Dr. Martha McGrew. Dean McGrew has been a phenomenal mentor to many, myself included, and we thank you for all your leadership with the faculty and learners here at UNM. In the Department of Orthopedics, we have 4 outstanding faculty members that were promoted this year. In the Division of Physical Therapy is Dr. Mary Beth Barkasy. She teaches pediatric physical therapy and is an outstanding teacher, well-regarded researcher, and is most deserving of her advancement to Associate Professor, Clinical Educator track. Congratulations, Dr. Jones, and thank you for your great service and work to this university. Next is Dr. Urvich Modia. Dr. Modia is a spine surgeon in the Department of Orthopedics. He's extremely talented, highly respected by his residents and colleagues, and is a wonderful person. With this promotion to Associate Professor, he was able to take the American Board of Orthopedic Surgery Part 1 exam and passed it with flying colors. It is a great honor to say congratulations, Dr. Modia. And lastly is Dr. Christina Salas. Dr. Salas is a PhD in biomechanics and has been a wonderful mentor and educator in orthopedics as a researcher in the study of biomechanics. Dr. Salas has become well renowned with her national work in the Perry Initiative, which mentors high school women into medicine and technology fields.
Hold on just a second. We're having a technical problem. Loree, can we go back or not?
We're working on that part. Sorry.
Thank you, Dean McGrew, and good afternoon. My name is Bob Skank, and I'm Department Chair of
Like I should
Orthopedic
be
Surgery
entertaining
and
people.
Rehabilitation. I'd first like to say
really is a role model and mentor for so many people, not just here, but even in the College of Engineering. She's been working with the UNM Lovelace rehab residents and really has just done some outstanding work and really, truly is a role model for women in STEM. So let's see if we're going to get more.
the study of biomechanics. Dr. Salas has become well renowned with her national work in the Perry Initiative, which mentors high school women into medicine and technology fields. She also does 3D printing and was able to provide 3D masks to the Gallup area community during the crux of the COVID crisis. And lastly, it is with fun, but also great pride that she was named in the InStyle magazine of one of the 50 badass women in America. My congratulations to Dr. Barkasy, Dr. Jones, Dr. Modia, and to Dr. Salas for their great work and great efforts in promotion to this university today. My many thanks. Everyone have a nice evening. And once again, thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today.
Thank you, Dr. Skank and your faculty. I think Badass Women in America is a new tenure and promotion category now. So thank you all very much. We were able to do the Department of Neurosciences, so I'm going to turn it over to the Department of Internal Medicine and Dr. Mark Unruh, who is the chair.
Hey, it's great to see everybody. And I just wanted to do a couple of recognitions. I want to recognize Betty Chang and Avinash Ashrakar, who oversee this process as faculty. And really, within the Department of Medicine, we typically promote 15 to 20 people every year, and not everyone is here today, but it's a lot of work. And they're supported by an outstanding staff, including Shannon Griego and Jolene McCrary, who are here today. For me, it is a really fun event. I do miss the food and music, though. We'll have to get together at some point soon. With the tenure and promotion of this particular group today, I think that you'll recognize that it's not a capstone of a career, but rather the recognition of an outstanding career trajectory. And I expect each of these faculty members being recognized today to continue to play an important part in the missions of the Department of Medicine. And so with that in mind, I first want to recognize Mary Lacey, who's being promoted to Associate Professor in the CE track. Dr. Lacey is a graduate of the University of Louisville School of Medicine, and don't hold that against her because she hasn't looked back. She also completed her internal medicine residency and internship at the University of Washington before joining us for her continuing her training as a resident and now faculty member. Dr. Lacey has been recognized with nearly every teaching award. She's been extremely productive in terms of scholarly output with 3 to 5 papers per year that she leads. And she's served as Associate Clerkship Director. She was Director of the Antimicrobial Stewardship within the Department of Medicine, which helped us kind of crush C. diff. I think we should put her in charge of the COVID task force next because she does everything exceptionally well. So Dr. Lacey, congratulations, and it's a very well-deserved recognition. Next, we are being Zoom bombed by Dr. Alex Shevchek. Alex, I think, did paper, scissors, rock with Dr. Yaskowitz and won. And so he was the cardiologist who was able to attend today. Dr. Shevchek is a graduate from the Ternopil State Medical University in the Ukraine. He, went and did a residency in OB-GYN in Ukraine and then moved to the US and retrained. He is an outstanding clinician. He is one of our, young leaders in clinical cardiology. He's director of our adult congenital heart program, medical director of the outpatient cardiovascular service line. And Dr. Shevchek is just a terrific resource for clinical medicine. And our next up will be Dr. Ziggy Dio. Dr. Dio is being promoted in the CE track to professor of medicine. She's in the division of hematology oncology. Dr. Dio received her medical degree at the University of Philippines and College of Medicine. She joined us in 2008 as an assistant professor, has been a leader in the treatment of breast cancer among New Mexicans. She is known for her remarkable clinical skills and integrity, and that is kind of reflected in the numerous leadership roles she has accumulated. She's the medical director of the UNM Cancer Center. She is been named interim chief of the Hem-Onc division. She was on the PPE committee, and she's been nationally recognized by ASCO and the ABIM. So congratulations, Dr. Dio, on your promotion. Next up is Liz Lawrence, CE track in general internal medicine, promotion to professor. Dr. Lawrence is a graduate of Stanford University. She completed her internship and residency at UNM. She was faculty here before going to the community to practice for nearly a decade. She has been recruited back to UNM and has been a singular leader in professional wellness. She serves currently as sort of the chief wellness officer and assistant dean for professional wellness. She oversaw the sort of curriculum redesign to include wellness across the 4 years within the School of Medicine. And she has partnered very effectively with UNMH to lead a task force around wellness. And it was, one group that was able to effectively get like everything on their list done in an extremely efficient way on time in order to serve our physicians and our faculty. So congratulations, Dr. Lawrence. Next up is Larissa Myaskovsky, who is promoted to professor with tenure. Larissa earned her PhD at the University of Pittsburgh, and her PhD was in psychology. She and I actually worked together there, where she did a postdoc research fellowship. She was recruited to the University of New Mexico in 2017 to lead the Center for Healthcare Equity in Kidney Disease, or CHECD. One of Dr. Myaskovsky's many talents is to come up with an outstanding acronym. So if you need one for a study or for a program, work with her and her group. Dr. Myaskovsky has really successfully transitioned her science to New Mexico. She has multiple new projects in a new setting, and I can't tell you how hard it is to move your research from a place where it's doing really well and be able to kind of relaunch and repod in a new setting. And she's done it with great success. And her most recent NIH award is an award addressed at reducing disparities in access to kidney transplant in New Mexico by testing whether peer navigators or a fast track clinic lead to better outcomes. Dr. Myaskovsky, that she brought with her, along with her science, is her dedication to mentorship. Right before she left at the University of New Mexico, she was recognized for her mentorship of underrepresented minorities. Here in New Mexico, she's continued her mentorship and she now mentors 8 to 12 junior faculty across multiple departments and has made an impact kind of across many departments, not just the Department of Medicine. Congratulations, Larissa. And lastly, here today is Marilena Romolio-T. Marilena is being promoted to Associate Professor in the research track. Marilena received her PhD and her MD in Greece. She had trained as a nephrologist in Greece prior to coming to the US, where she actually worked with me as a postdoc. Marilena has contributed to numerous NIH trials, publishes about 3 to 5 papers per year. And as an added bonus, she's taken on the lead in education for the Division of Nephrology and participates rather broadly in the educational mission of the School of Medicine, which is really above and beyond for a research professor. So Marilena, thank you so much for all your contributions. And to all of those promoted within the Department of Medicine, I expect great things going forward.
Thank you, Dr. Unruh, and congratulations to your faculty as well. We always make the newest chair go last, not really. We are very lucky to have Dr. Chris Arndt, who is the chair of anesthesia, to present anesthesia and critical care, to present his faculty.
Thank you, Dr. Magoo. Thank you so much. I was wondering about the alphabetical order. I wonder if you misspelled our department name or something like that, but I guess not. Now I know the reasoning behind, so thank you. Last but not least, I hope you guys are still awake, but we have 3 wonderful faculty that have been promoted, and I'd like to start with just saying a few things about Dr. Katie Reyes, a graduate of our School of Medicine and of our residency program, just the kindest, most wonderful person that you can ever meet, and a budding leader of diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts within our department. She is also a budding clinician scientist with grant funding on a very interesting project looking at the opioid pharmacokinetics and pharmacogenetics in Native American patients. Since we have a large patient population here, it's not a thing that's studied very frequently at all, and so she's taken upon herself to lead that effort and as a new educator and clinician and a scholar. So congratulations, Dr. Reyes, for your promotion to associate professor. Next is another double graduate, Dr. Ricardo Falcon, and he's actually a triple graduate, native New Mexican, graduate from our School of Medicine and from our residency program and our fellowship in pediatrics. Ricardo has been a backbone of pediatric anesthesia since 2007. There's rarely a kid who's come through our program here with more than one surgery who hasn't run into Dr. Falcone. And he's just been a wonderful, wonderful provider for our children here in New Mexico. And if you look at his CV, I don't know how he's fitted in, but he has given so many phase 1 talks and led so many medical student efforts in the School of Medicine. It's just amazing he's found time to do it. And he's really looked up to by our residents, our fellows, and our med students for his poise, his ability. He's just an amazing person. Congratulations, Dr. Falcone, for becoming a professor of clinician education. Dr. Arpad Zulyomi has earned a well-deserved promotion to the professor clinician educator track. Few people would know that Dr. Zulyomi was actually the chief of staff at Sierra Vista Hospital in TRC before coming to UNM. In 2003, he joined us. And he's one of our most versatile and exacting anesthesiologists. Now, I think you'll know what I mean when I say by that. He expects the highest of himself and everyone around him. And it's really impressive to see the pride that Arpad takes in his clinical care. An expert in regional anesthesia, acute pain, background in chronic pain. And since 2007, he's been our lead neuroanesthesiologist. Increasingly important as we were redeveloping a brand new neurosurgery department. So he's the lead on that and on getting our stroke accreditation. And he's also on a R21 as a co-investigator studying uses of functional MRI. Well-deserved, Dr. Zulyomi, for your promotion to professor. Job well done. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Arndt. You did great your first time, and congratulations to your faculty. We have one other faculty to present. Dr. Mike Schmidt couldn't be here, so Dr. Wilson is going to present Dr. Rob Alunde from the Department of Neurosurgery.
Hi, everybody. Nothing like a last-minute switch, but I'm delighted to speak on behalf of Dr. Alunde's promotion today. He is a professor, going up to be an associate professor in the Department of Neurosurgery. He is emergency medicine trained, but did a critical care fellowship and is now the medical director of the neuroscience intensive care unit. So has done a lot of work there. Fortunately, we ask our faculty to give us some ideas of what they're most accomplished, proud of in their accomplishments for their posters, which we will be doing for everybody. And in terms of his accomplishments in clinical care and service, he played a key role in the department and the development of the stroke alert process, which streamlined and coordinated efforts of pre-hospital paramedics, the departments of emergency medicine, neurology, neurosurgery, and radiology to give the best and most timely care to those who suffer acute stroke. He's also the vice president of the Stroke Advisory Committee to the New Mexico Department of Health. His accomplishments in the education include organizing multi-departmental in situ stroke simulations. He's given multiple lectures to physicians, nurses, and paramedics around the state of New Mexico on the management of acute stroke. He's participated in the planning committee and lectures in the New Mexico systems of care. He's also an accomplished researcher and has participated in several studies, including one on practice outcomes and associated with emergency sedation for mechanically ventilated patients, spreading depolarization in acute brain injury inhibited by ketamine, and also in stroke guideline implementation in assessment and treatment times for patients with suspected strokes. He's received Distinguished Faculty Award from the National Science Institute and the Dynamic Dyad Award for Quality Improvement by reducing infections in the neurosciences intensive care unit. So please join me in congratulating him on a well-deserved promotion.
Thank you, Dr. Wilson. Congratulations, Dr. Alunde. I hear you are as good in the ER as you are in the neurointensive care unit. So thank you very much. I'd now like to turn it over to my colleague, Dr. Tracy Collins, the Dean of the College of Population Health.
Thank you, Dean McGrew. Good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Andrew Rowland, who's being promoted to professor with tenure. Before I go through his wonderful portfolio, I do want to acknowledge the support of Dr. Robert Frank and from Family and Community Medicine, Norma Dye, to help us get the packets together last year. I really appreciate that support. Dr. Andrew Rowland, promoted to professor with tenure, has a PhD in epidemiology from the University of North Carolina. He actually completed a postdoctoral training at National Institute of Environmental Health Sciences in 1994 and worked as a member of the reproductive epidemiology branch at NIEHS before joining UNM in 2001. He's quite a remarkable educator and researcher, very well-rounded portfolio. He is being promoted on the educator track, and it's a pleasure just to be able to work daily with Dr. Rowland. Keep in mind that the College of Population Health is the second such college of its kind in the country, but the first to offer a bachelor's in population health. And Dr. Rowland has been instrumental in getting the curriculum started and further developing it to help us grow our BSPH program. As far as his skill sets with teaching, he actually provides teaching in both our Bachelor of Science in Population Health and our MPH programs. He's currently teaching perinatal epidemiology and psychiatric epidemiology in the MPH program. He's also teaching Intro to Population Health and Population Health Research Methods in the BSPH program. In addition to his active role in teaching, he completed a provost teaching fellowship in which he worked with other UNM faculty to use active teaching methods to teach students in their first 2 years of college about the value of research and learning basic research skills. So the long-term objective of this is to promote diversity and student success in STEM. As a principal investigator, he served on an R01 looking at the natural history of attention deficit hyperactivity disorder in a population-based sample. He's worked on a collaborative national children's study. He has more than 47 publications, which have been cited more than 1,900 times, including publishing in high-impact journals like the New England Journal of Medicine. As far as his work in helping UNM broadly, he has unique skills in questionnaire design, mixed methods, epidemiology data analysis, and active teaching methods. So really his expertise spans perinatal epi, occupational and environmental epidemiology, epidemiology of childhood mental disorders, and also undergraduate teaching. And it's just a distinct pleasure to introduce Dr. Rowland and congratulate him on his promotion to professor with tenure. And now I'll turn it back over to Dean McGrew to provide the closing remarks. Thank you.
So thank you again, everybody, for attending. I have to acknowledge the folks who put this together. Again, this is one of the most wonderful in-person ceremonies, but to really put it together on Zoom, to be able to split the screen and to be able to recognize people so beautifully has been wonderful. And I want to thank, and I'm going to call out names because names matter, but I want to thank those from Office of Faculty Affairs and Career Development, Dr. Wilson, Dr. Siegel, Dr. Sood. I want to thank April Rodriguez, Laurie Gillespie, Denise Salazar, Courtney Padilla, Kayla Holman, and Ruby Elizondo, who are also our students who are the miraculous, really, ones with technology, I must say, along with Bridget Wagner-Jones from the Office of Community Faculty and Ashley Salazar, who is in, as well, the Office of Community Faculty and Alumni, and to the Health Sciences Center for their continued support of this ceremony. Again, thank you, everyone, for the incredible work you do in the name of our mission. It is such a big deal, and that you've been promoted is really evidence of your commitment to our institution and to growing the body of knowledge, to making healthcare better, and to creating the next workforce of New Mexico. So I hope that you all have a good evening. We are going to, I believe, Laurie, cycle through the slides of those who couldn't be here so that we can recognize them as well. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Dr. McGrew.